Hello everyone, we are from Group 3 of Introduction to Literature class, and in this video we are going to present a presentation about Pramoedya Ananta Toer, the legendary Indonesian writer. Before begin, let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is Jumria Mufarridiyah Kalurung, and the next one is Richardus D.P. Wuwur, Inri Milenniar Sibu, Costantin Toring, and the last one is Natalia
Pramoedya Ananta Toer, or more familiarly called Pram, is one of the greatest writers that Indonesia has ever had. During Pram's 80 years of life, he has produced many literary works. There are already 50 literary works in the form of novels and published in 41 languages in the world. In addition, Pram's novels have become mandatory teaching materials for several foreign schools and universities.
Pramoedya Ananta Toer, also known as Pram, was born in Blora on February 6, 1925 as the eldest son of a teacher and the middle daughter of a religious leader in Lembang. His father's name was Master, who was later called Toer, and his mother's name was Siti Saida. We can know that Pram's real name is Pramoedya Ananta Master, because the surname Master, his father was deemed too aristocratic. He removed the Japanese prefix Mas and used Toer as a family name. According to her mother's words, Saida said the name Pramoedya comes from the word pra, which means first or foremost, and moedya, which means war or war. And it turns out that the prayer of the person who gave the name came true, because Pram became the first person to fight against his own people, namely the Japanese.
Pram graduated from elementary school at the Budi Utomo Institute in Blora. Then he continued his education at the Surabaya Radio Engineering School (Radio Folk School Surabaya) for 1.5 years, starting from 1940 to 1941, and then in 1942, Pram worked as a typist for a Japanese newspaper in Jakarta called Domi.
During Indonesia's independence in 1946, Pram attended military training until then. In 1947, Pram was imprisoned by the DOA in Jakarta because he was accused of keeping documents of the rebellion against DOA during his time as war prisoner. Spent his time writing books and short stories. In 1915, Pram lived in the Netherlands as part of cultural exchange program.
During his lifetime, Pram was detained for 3 years during the colonial period and 1 year during the Old Order. During the New Order period, Pramoedya spent 14 years in detention as a political prisoner without a member of the court. During his imprisonment on Guru Islam, he was forbidden to write. However, that did not dampen his enthusiasm for writing. He still managed to find time to write. At that time, he was writing a series of his famous work entitled Bumi Manusia, the first volume of which was brought orally to his inmate, and the remainder was sampled out of the country of the collection of Australian authors and frequently published in English. After being released, Pram did not get a good reception from the surrounding community, even though there were many influences in his old age. Pram did not think much of it. In fact, at an infant age, he continued to write and is diligent in producing his.
During his old age, Pram was repeatedly admitted to the hospital. This is because his health has declined and his penchant for smoking. On January 12, 2006, it was reported that he was sick at his home in Bojonggede, Bogor, and was subsequently hospitalized. On April 27, 2006, Pram was unconscious and returned to the hospital and was diagnosed with pneumonia, a disease he had never had, plus complications from kidney, heart, and diabetes. And finally, Pramoedya died at the age of 81 on April 30, 2006. His funeral was held at the TPU Karet Bivak and was accompanied by the song Darah Juang. Here are Pramoedya Ananta Toer's most famous works. First is Bumi Manusia. The first volume of the Buru Island tetralogy is Bumi Manusia. The book, which is set in the early 19th and 20th centuries, tells the story of a Javanese youth of aristocratic Desana Mingke. The second is Gadis Pantai. In this novel, Pram tells the story of a 14-year-old girl who is called the GP or Gadis Pantai. Gadis Pantai comes from a fishing village on the north coast of Central Java, Rembang Regency. The third is Arus Balik. Arus Balik is a novel by Pram that tells the story of the archipelago in its heyday. After the fall of the Majapahit kingdom, the archipelago had to face the opposite reality. During the Majapahit era, the archipelago was the largest maritime unit and the maritime kingdom in the world. And the last is Jejak Langka. Jejak Langka is a sequel to the Buru Island tetralogy after Children of All Nations. In this book, Mingke is told to fight against the colonial government by forming an organization and building the press. He used it as a tool to mobilize the masses to get involved against colonialism. Now we come to the end of this video. We hope that this video can be useful for all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video.